Hello guys, Fizzy here, and it's been a while, hasn't it, since I uploaded a video of just me racing in a league race. This is of course the AOR GT3 Elite League on the PC version of Project Cars, and it is the final race of Season 1, a season which ended probably about 2 or 3 months ago. So I'm a little bit late with finishing off this season in terms of videos. Basically not had too much time to make videos recently, and much of the time I have had has gone towards making the official highlights for the Pro Mazda League, which I absolutely love. But I thought it was about time to wrap up this season of Project Cars GT3, and for this final race of Season 1 we're at Silverstone, as you can see. We're currently watching my best qualifying lap for, well, I had the race. And to be honest, as I said, it's been like 2 or 3 months since this race took place, so I can't remember too much of like what I was thinking going into the race, my expectations for the race and stuff like that. So all I know is that going into this race I was sitting in 5th place in the Drivers' Championship with a chance of getting 4th. I believe it was Andrex UK that was sitting 4th at this point, 8 points ahead of me, and well, I needed a better race at him basically, and beat him by at least a few positions in order to get that 4th position. And I was of course hopeful that I would manage to do that, but obviously just going into this race, well, I probably went into this race thinking the same as what I always do, to just do my best and you know, get the best result that I possibly can. I cannot remember how confident I was in terms of my pace around this circuit in this McLaren car, but I guess we'll see now as we come towards the end of the qualifying lap where I end up, because yeah, it'd be nice to refresh my memory a little bit as when I go into the final chicane of this Silverstone circuit. Very nice track to drive in these cars, I feel. I guess it's a pretty nice track to drive in most cars, but certainly one that I feel suits these cars pretty well. As we come towards the line now, let's see then where we are, or where we qualified. P7 it says in the bottom left there, with a time of 2 minutes, well, 0 seconds, .1, which was 1.4 seconds of Brownski's pole time, and 0.3 of a second of Andrex in 4th. So I'm starting this race and behind Andrex, my championship rival for this race. So not really ideal. I guess my pace here then is pretty much average. Nothing really special, but also not too bad. So I guess all we can do is just jump into it and see how it goes, as the green lights are now out, and that car ahead of us just seemed to jump the start there quite clearly, but well, nothing we can really do about that now. We've gotten an okay start as 2 cars very close behind me, but we managed to stay in 7th position for now, coming out of turn 1 with quite a huge gap to the 6 cars ahead. But let's see if we can close up a little bit under braking here, a little bit wide there to just make sure not to hit Poppleton in the back, and Son of More all over the back of me now as well, coming onto the back straight here, well, one of the back straights. And this is a long race, of course. It's nearly going to be an hour of racing, so we just have to be patient. No need to really rush anything overly aggressive here in the first few laps. Just have to try and stick with the pack really, and make sure we don't fall off. Staying quite close to the cars ahead, going through Luffield now, and coming towards Woodcote. This is the stand on the left here, was where I was sitting in the during the F1 race in 2015. And I think this race, actually, this league race, didn't take place very long after that, so I kind of went there to watch a race in real life, and came straight back home and did a league race here, which is pretty cool. Managing to keep decent pace through cops there, but Son of More being very close behind me, as there's nearly side by side going ahead of me, going into Maggots and Beckett's now. And it almost looked like the McLaren ahead was almost flipping it there. I think that might be Andrex actually, 2 positions ahead of us there. Our championship rival now for a 4th place in the standings, as I mentioned. So onto the Hangar Straight, I would say the best overtaking opportunity or overtaking location on this circuit, as Poppleton is indeed trying for an overtake on Andrex. Here it is, Andrex in that McLaren, same car as me. Poppleton trying to go round the outside of Stowe in his BMW. And he has done it absolutely beautifully here, and has claimed that inside line for the chicane. Andrex though braking later and trying to go around the outside as well. Great racing from the pair and leaving each other room as well. And Poppleton a little bit on the back foot now. Oh, as Andrex, my rival, has spun a little bit there, or half spun. He's still on the track behind me, but I've managed to gain that position, and I think Son of More now is pretty much to the left of me as well. It's very hard to see exactly when there's a car like halfway alongside you, and he has now dropped behind. As there's an incident going on there. One car off on the run off there. I'm not completely sure who that was, and that has also put Poppleton on the back foot, and I managed to get up to 4th position all of a sudden. Son of Mo as well following me, and he's now on my inside. I could see there briefly in my rear mirror. As he's actually pulled himself ahead as well, as I got a little bit loose coming onto the straight there. So was up to 4th for a brief moment, but Son of Mo has capitalized even better than me on the other guys making some small mistakes, and he's now up to 4th position with me in 5th, and Poppleton just behind in 6th. So after a pretty silent first lap, it all kicked off at the ends of it, and at the start of lap 2. And due to all this crazy action, it looks like the top 3 have broken away a little bit. Actually, the leader has got a quite huge gap on 2nd as well. You can see the minimap there in the top left. As we come towards Copse once again, a pretty tricky corner in these cars, to be honest. To take it, well, you have to lift off a lot more than you have to in F1 cars. And it's the same with most of these corners, to be honest, through Maggots and Beckett's here as well. Well, I'm used to from obviously having the game I've driven this track most on is the F1 games, and you go through here a lot faster. So it's about trying to be a bit more patient in these cars, because they don't quite have the power and the turning ability of the F1 cars, as you'd expect. But they are very fun to drive. I really do like the feel of these GT3 cars in this game, certainly with my wheel at least. It feels really good to drive, especially at this early stage of the race where the tires are in top condition. This is actually not going to be a race where you need pit stops, because we decided to change the tire wear setting for this race due to the pit stop issues that people had been having quite frequently in the earlier races this season. So tire wear setting now put to real, meaning people should be able to go the whole distance on one set of tires, although they will definitely start wearing towards the end. As we did see a car, the guy in 3rd actually has fallen right back into this group I'm in. So this could potentially be a podium battle here then. I think that's Jeppa, who is currently in 3rd. I also think he was the guy who jumped the start as well. So I don't know, maybe he felt a bit bad about that and decided to drop back a bit. But either way, he will now be under pressure as there is a 4-way group now from 3rd place down, as the cars behind Poppleton has actually dropped off a little bit, and that includes Andrex, my championship rival. And I'm coming into Brooklands, braking at my normal point, and what the hell is going on now? There was some crazy ass lag going on there with both of the cars ahead just seemingly veering off towards the right, and now I've got damage. I can feel it, and my engineer said that you can see my car is steering towards the left, and I don't even know what happened, to be honest. The cars around me just seemed to lag spike for a little moment, and that's all that was needed to just ruin my car. And that sadly has put a stop to what was looking like it could be a very solid race for me, actually, as I'm now just being overtaken very easily by AJ and also Martin van der Bent, as I no longer have any straight line speed in this car, and well, it's steering on the straight. This has got no grip, as you can see. I'm sliding through Maggots and Beckett's there, and you can see my steering wheel. I'm turning right. My wheel is pointed right when I'm going through a left-hand corner. So that's how bad it is. And there are more cars coming from behind. I think I might have to pit, to be honest, as well, because I can't drive for the next 25 laps with this kind of damage. That would just not be enjoyable at all, and I would lose too much time ultimately as well. So as you can see, we're going straight into the pit lane here, which has basically ruined my chances of a good result in this race. And in the battle for 4th in the championship, I'm basically dependent now on Andrex also having some issues. And not only that, I have to do a pit stop and have to deal with this pit stop bug, which well, is what we were meant to be avoiding by changing the tire wear setting. So you can see the game is now refueling me, even though I didn't ask for any fuel. And that's just part of the pit stop issue on this game. At this stage, of course, this is, like I said, like 3 months ago or something. It has gotten better with time, this pit stop stuff online. So it's not actually quite as problematic now at the time that I'm uploading this video, as this game has seen quite a few big patches, which has been very good and fixed a lot of things. And now on to 10 laps later, lap 14, and I've not made it any better for myself by just losing the car on the way into Maggots, taking too much of that curb on the inside, which can really unsettle the car here, actually, as you just saw an example of there. And at least I managed to save it to the extent that it didn't hit the wall. Now on the end of this lap you can see that I'm actually passing a car who has also gotten in the pits. That is AJ, who was decided to pit. I think he actually decided to pit, just using a different strategy. And 2 laps later I also managed to catch up to Emka, who seemed to be having some problems as well. But speaking of problems, there's another one for me. So I've seen him had an issue, and then I've basically just responded by half spinning myself onto the grass. And he's just gone from bad to worse, really. He's gone from bad to really bad to worst. But then, at the end of lap 18, a hard break for Andrex, who has been disconnected from the session. I'm not quite sure what position he was in, but he was clearly ahead of me by quite a margin and was looking on course for that 4th place position in the championship. But now, with him not finishing, that means he will score 0 points there, and me running in 9th place, which now is about to turn into 8th place due to Poppleton having some issue. You can see he had a massive dent on his front bonnet there, so big damage for him. Something's happened there, and I'm up to P8 actually, which means I'm clearly scoring enough points to pass Andrex in the championship if I can keep it like this. AJ though has caught right up to the back of me with 5.5 laps to go, and he is looking a lot faster at this stage because he has pitted, he has put on fresh tires in the middle of the race. Although I would have liked to give him a little bit of a challenge to get by, but I've basically just messed up that corner there and made it really quite easy for him to get a better run onto the Hanger Straight. Now he is about to grab the inside line, coming towards Stowe. There he goes in his roof. No point really to fight this too hard, because I know that he's got a pace on me here due to fresher tires. He's had such a big say in how these cars handle, but I've actually managed to keep very close to him out of Stowe and got a very good exit. Might have a look actually off the inside into the chicane, taking a very tight line and a lot of the curb as well. Is he managing to hold around the outside? I'm leaving him maroon there in case he does. I can't see him alongside me though, and there he goes. He's dropped back behind, so I might not be fighting for the position I wanted to at the start of the race when I was in that train for 3rd place. But at least I'm getting a little bit of battling, even though AJ has got a lot fresher tires at this stage, as we now skip a little bit later in the lap, going through Copse now, and I've basically understeered like crazy there through the corner. The car really not feeling good at this stage of the race, with the tires starting to really fall off the cliff. And AJ now having a go at me into Maggots, and he's just carried a lot more speed there, rounding outside the first apex, grabbing the inside for the second one, and he is through once again. Remains to be seen though if I can come back at him this time, as he now is much further ahead at this point, and I couldn't quite manage to, and instead AJ has gone on the attack on Emka, going into Brooklands on lap 25, and at least them two battling has helped me close the gap up to Emka as well, and he will be in a similar situation to me on tires, as he, as far as I know anyway, has not pitted in his race, trying to get on the power there out of the left field, but just couldn't manage to get close enough to Emka. But now we have another chance down the Hanger Straight. Emka though braking a little bit later. I couldn't quite claim the inside line there, trying to keep close to him though. Maybe I can do a repeat of what I did to AJ, and Emka has gone very slow there on the exit, moved himself over to the right. I've got the inside line, but once again he's braking a little bit later. I'm just not daring enough there, so very good defensive braking there from Emka. But wow, what on earth? I've basically just hit him there. I don't really know. He seemed to slow down there in the acceleration zone, so I was a little bit unsure at this stage as to whether that was my fault, but I'm not really fighting for much at the moment, so I might as well let him back through. And there he goes, and then he spins off by himself immediately. So yeah, I did let him back through. What more can I do? I didn't really feel like that was my fault, but well. Emka though managed to recover from that and stay very close to the back of me, and now actually on the final lap with only a few corners to go, he got very close coming towards Stowe. But this time it was my turn to brake a little bit later, as he has also ran a little bit too wide there on the exit. So only a couple of corners to go to try and stay in 9th place here. Wouldn't be a crisis if I dropped out to 10th either, to be honest. I'm pretty sure I'd still beat Andrex with the points I get for 10th. And Emka now has had a mare around that chicane, so I managed to hold on to 9th after a race that really should have gone a lot better. Everything ruined by that little lag spike incident on lap 3, making it not a particularly enjoyable race, to be honest, just because I knew that I was way off my potential in terms of my position on the racetrack. But oh, look at that, I finished in 8th actually, not 9th, so that's even better for me. 14 points, I only needed 8 to get past Andrex in the championship. but of course not really the way that I wanted to beat Andrix. I mean, I know I had my incident there due to lag, but he got just disconnected altogether, and obviously it would have been much better if neither of those things happened, so that I could have had maybe a proper fight for him for that championship position. But that's how it is. Here are the final standings for the first season of this GT3 League. Brownski the champion, after a great season for him with 4 wins and 2 second places, extremely solid. 78 points he was ahead of Martin Wenderbent in second, and then Jeppe claimed third, with me in fourth in the end, 6 points ahead of Andrix due to his unfortunate DNF. But at least Andrix managed to hang on from Mikael and Maisie by 1 and 2 points respectively. Onage ending up in 8th in the end after we only did the 3 first races, and then AJ and RC Monster 99 wrapping up the top 10 in the final standings. As for the Manufacturer Championship, I haven't really paid too much attention to this, to be perfectly honest, but worth pointing out I guess that my McLaren team ended up in 3rd in the end with 284 points, which was only 19 points behind Aston Martin in 2nd, so actually closer than I expected, but it was a dominant win in that particular championship for the BMW team, so well done to them. Obviously Brownski, the champion driving for BMW, which have had a big say in that. So then, that was basically all there was to show from this first 6-race season of the AOR GT3 Elite League. I do apologize again for taking such a long time to get the final race up. It has actually gone to the point where the second season of this league is already finished. So, and that was a 10-race season as well, so even longer. So for that season I will probably only do a couple of videos. At least that's my plan at the moment, just to do kind of a season recap of the first half of the season, and then another video with a recap of the second half of the season, to basically give you a general overview of how I got on, and also my main and most fun moments from the races. So I hope you'll stick around for that, and it would be nice if I could get those 2 videos out before the start of Season 3, so that maybe, just maybe, for that season I can do regular race uploads with, like, you know, the videos coming out not too long after the actual races took place, because that would be nice, but all remains to be seen. It all comes down to how much time I have and everything, which as of late hasn't been much, as I mentioned, so yeah, I'll just keep doing videos when I can. If you want some more good racing, make sure you also check out the Pro Mazda videos I make for the AOR Pro Mazda League on iRacing. There is really some great races in that one as well. Not too much going on with me on F1 2015 at the moment, because I just don't really enjoy that game, and it just feels empty, and online isn't very good, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, not much more to say. I will see you quite soon again for some more racing action, I'm sure, and until then, I hope you have a good time, and thanks for following this season, and goodbye.